Wall Street Memes Casino.
I'm fine.
And Sportsbook.
Frank Smith. Now, Frank, it was in December last year that Peter McGRAIL was boxing beautifully, wasn't it, in Arizona? And it just shows you in this game that one punch really can change it all. We were scheduled to have the rematch twice with RICO QUINN in 2 different venues. How happy are you, though, that not able to have the rematch with O'Quinn, but to find a very, very good substitute in Mark Leach this weekend?
Yeah, look, I think, going back to not going over the fight in December, but he was winning every round. And he's a fighter, Peter. He wants to test himself. He wants to move quickly and wants to take real fights. And, brilliant fighter. We believe he's got so much more to give, and that's why we're here headlining with Peter. Obviously a shame that the RICO QUINN fight didn't happen, but that's not going to define Peter's career. That's not. If it happened, great. If it didn't, it doesn't matter. Now we move on. Mark Leach is going to be a real test for him. Probably a harder fight as well. He's got an awkward style. It's a real fight for Peter McGRAIL on Saturday night. And too many people in boxing think a loss defines them in the sport. The reality is, if you're willing to take tests, if you're willing to step up and take real fights, that's what the sport's about. And, in years to come, you'll forget all about that, because these are the fights. And look, Peter's got to get in there. He's got to deliver a performance, and we believe he will. But, it's a real test against Mark Leach and the kind of fights we need, and a great fight to be headlining a next-gen show with. Well, let's bring in Mark Leach over there. Mark, good to see you. I was in the gym the other week and we were doing some stuff with Jack Cattrall, and you were there as well, preparing for your own day. I was talking to Jamie Moore and Nigel Travis, and they said you were flying in the gym before this call even came. How easy a yes was this decision to step in and fight Peter McGRAIL in the main event on DAZN?
I don't turn down no fights. I want him in the sport to be the best. Peter McGRAIL was a lot better than my original opponent that I was meant to face, so for me it was a no-brainer, yes, straight away.
Mark, is it fair to say that this is a must-win for both here? And do you think this is a dangerous time to be fighting you?
Yeah, like I say, I've lost my last 2. He's lost his last one. We're both coming off a loss. We've got a lot to prove. Like I said, a loss doesn't define a person, so we've learned from our losses, come back stronger. You've been British champion before. When you look at Peter McGRAIL, the amateur pedigree and the position he's in as a pro, albeit looking to bounce back here, but why is the motivation so strong for you, Mark? If you win this fight on Saturday, what doors do you think can open? I'd say hopefully when I win on Saturday, puts my name back in the mix for the rest of the titles, and gets my name back in the mix for the top class fights. That's what I'm in the sport for. I want to keep proving myself, keep showing what I'm about stuff. And Pete admitted that this is must win for him. And in that fight, he switched off. And in this game, you can't afford to do that. He admitted that himself. Why can't he afford to switch off against Mark Leach on Saturday night? Yeah, I watched his last fight. He was winning it comfortably. Like I say, switch off for a split second. And sometimes that all happens in boxing. But like I say, I'm not going to be stood there. I'm going to be throwing off shots from everywhere and stuff like that. So, like I say, it's going to be a lot tougher than his last fight. So, like I say, I'm expecting 10 hard rounds. So, like I say, can't wait till fight night now. Well, let's bring in Peter McGRAIL. Pete, good to see you, still smiling from ear to ear like your brother Joe about that Everton win last night, so congratulations to you on that one. It's not RICO O'Quinn sat opposite you on this stage, and that was something you were fixated on. You really wanted that shot of redemption. You were really determined to jump straight back into the fire. What have you had to overcome mentally with the opponent change?
Yeah, not much, Jamie. I was just obviously gutted it weren't RICO. Obviously, originally it was, so things were good, but it's there's a lot on the line for this fight. It's a British title eliminator. It's WBA international belt, and obviously against the former British champion. So, if anything, I'm going to be in a better position once I win Saturday, and that RICO fight is still always going to be there, and I'll always be looking to avenge that loss. So, obviously, if RICO's watching here, don't after this fight, hopefully don't flap it again and get over to the UK, or I'll even go over to America. But that's in the future. Since the opponent got changed, I've been fully focused on Mark Leach, and that's what's happening Saturday.
To regain some sort of confidence, I'm sure there's plenty there already. You know yourself, you've been around this game a long time in the amateurs. A loss doesn't define it. We've heard from Frank as well. But would you like to put on a real classy showcasing display just to regain some real confidence? Yeah, definitely. That and a loss doesn't define no one. If you look at 95% of all the greats, there's losses on their records, but especially after coming back from a loss, I'm looking to
especially headlining as well in my home city. Obviously, at an arena full of Scousers, I'm looking to put a show on Saturday and close the show in style.
Frank said it's probably a harder fight on paper than RICO or QUINN. How do you see it? What do you know about Mark Leach over there?
Yeah, Mark's been about for years. I've known him on the amateur circuit, never known him personally, but I'm expecting a tough, awkward fight. But as I said before, I'm more than ready for domestic people like the likes of Mark Leach. But yeah, fair play to him for taking the fight. I respect that because obviously with RICO, obviously, as I think he's flapped it really myself. I know they're getting the same family matters and that, but I just think he doesn't want to be in the ring with me. So thanks to Mark for obviously letting me crack on.
Final message, final prediction in front of your home city. You'll be the last man to make your ring walk on Saturday night.
Just a Peter McGRAIL win, yeah. Win by any means, stoppage, points, but yeah, it's coming on. Peter McGRAIL win. And
for you, Mark, massive opportunity to get yourself back on track and push on to some big fights this year.
Yeah, 100%. Like I say, I'm there to win as well. So done all the hard training now. This is the enjoyment part of the sport.
Well, for the first time in Fight Week, let's bring Peter McGRAIL, Frank Smith, and of course Mr. Mark Leach together for the Fight Week face-off.
Wall Street Memes Casino.
I'm fine.
And Sportsbook.